Well, hello there, folks. How are we doing? I know what you're thinking before I even start. But, Chris, you've already reviewed Eduard's Spitfire story in 148th. But no. We have, of course, already seen the Spitfire story, The Few, concentrating on the Mark I Spitfire from the Battle of Britain. Well, this is their new boxing. Spitfire story, TALLY, concentrating on the Mark II Spitfire, mostly in the Battle of Britain and just after. So, I'm expecting a huge change from the original one, but we shall give it a go. Again, fantastic box art. Some nice our Women's Auxiliary Air Force being shown up there. We have many options there. We'll go through those later. Obviously, in 148th, boxing is Treble 146. And what's on that side? We have some details in here. We have British Order 2 aircraft Spitfire Mark II A and B in 148th, focusing on the period 1940 to 41, so Battle of Britain and just after. Dual combo, so we get 2 kits in the box, plastic parts, photo etch, and painting masks. Decals for 10 options. So here we go. Taking a quick look, I should point out very quickly, this came from my normal supplier. Oh yeah, there. At MkII Hobbies. Recently moved to new premises, so go and check them out. Go and see Mike, Leslie, who else is there? Danny, Emma, and the rest of the crew, because they're all fantastic and I love them to bits. We have a lot going on there. Let's try and squeeze all that out for a minute. We'll come back to that in a minute. We got all sorts in here. What's going on here? Right, okay. Move that away slightly. Quickie things. We have the etch parts, which are relatively simple. Looks like they've calmed down the colour on the belts a little bit. Again, the etch instrument panels are the newer ones with the glazing on. See 2 of those. We have stencils, obviously again for 2 options. That is the Eduard decals. I'll get at that in a minute. For me, probably the most important part, the masks. We have a little addendum here for one of the options. Oh no, sorry, 4-inch wide linear strips. So painting themes D, H, I, and J. Obviously, you've forgotten to put the yellow on the very front. Don't worry about it. I've finished an entire kit and forgotten to word at the end. We also have some instructions for some figures. Well, look at those in a bit. They sound kind of fun. I'll get to it straight away. Obviously, decal sheet, absolutely massive. Loads and loads of choices. These are the new Eduard decals. I won't get them out and take a look. You know what they're going to be like. They're all going to be sharp. They're all going to be in register. That's not the issue. It is this new carrier film that's over the top. People either love it or hate it. I'm not going to say a thing on that subject. I want to try it a little more often and see what I think. But again, you know what you're getting yourself in for. It will be the new style ones. Right. Instructions. Again, fantastic colour scheme on the top here. Loads and loads of info about Spitfire Mark II. And demonstrating to the usual style. Blocking out options here for different ones that won't be used. So there's a fair few bits for the spare parts bin. As normal, going straight in with the inside of the cockpit. Of course, the different options now from the Mark I with regards to the undercarriage. Different options again for seat, armoured or not. We have, terribly sorry about that. We have, again, going in again to the rest of the cockpit. More details going on. Pardon me 1 second. Shut that up. I forgot something. How unprofessional. Continuing in with the instrument panel, different options again, typical Eduard. So we have different options depending on whether you want raised details, decal, or photo etch. Going in, again, we've got a few options there. Obviously, being careful at this stage here, again, which option you're going to go for. So it's important to remember which marking scheme you're going to go for at this point, as to whether or not you need to draw some stuff out, etc. whether or not you're going for the Mark 2A or 2B. So wings are going together again, depending on which one you're doing. Marrying up to the fuselage, tail pieces going on. Got a little tiny bit of edge there for some of them. Wing tips, radiators going on. Cowl for the bottom. Just noticed, by the way, the cowl on the top again is like the Mark 1, not the Mark 8. So we don't have a separate piece to try and deal with. It does mean, however, yes, you are going to have to tidy up the seam at the very front. That's all right. Again, I'm sure the likes of Barracuda Cast will get on that if you don't fancy doing it that way. Again, different options here for the radiators, whether or not you want to use etch parts or plastic. Wheels, undercarriage, tail wheel, cannons, depending on which variation. Little details for the cockpit. Different options for propeller. Different options for canopy, open, closed, or different variations. We have exhausts going in, and a good idea of the sort of angles and stuff afterwards just there. Mask layout, and going into the markings. So we have Sailor Man, Adolf Milan there, from South... Couldn't try and get that, sorry, in the light, there we go. From our South Africa, with the brown, green, and the sky underneath. We have Donald Finlay of Hornchurch, Observer Corps, sorry, with the sky and black underneath. Doesn't actually say which one, but yeah. So then we have Sergeant William J. Johnson, obviously not to be confused with Johnny Johnson, from Hinckley apparently. Again, sky and black underneath. We have a actually we do on that one as well. So the band is a different colour apparently. It's a slightly lighter one. So one to definitely check your references for. We have a grey one. So that'll be a little later, October 41. James O'Meara, DFC. In the later schemes. Some cool markings around the front there. You don't often get much in terms of personalisation with Spitfires, so always nice to see. We have a random one here from 4-1 Squadron, so that's for the Canadian fellas. We have Douglas Bader. Of course, you've got to have Douglas Bader in nearly every single Spitfire boxing ever. But you've got the option, of course, obviously, with the our famous nose art there of him kicking Hitler's behind. For June 41. We have Miroslav Ferrick, famed Polish ace, again with some cool nose art on that one. We have our first Eagle Squadron option from William R. Dunn in the greys, obviously with the eagle in the front. And again, of course, obviously he would have transferred to USAF halfway through the war, so he started off with us. We have another Polish option. I'm not even going to attempt to completely ruin that poor fellow's name, but Marcin someone of 306 Squadron. And then finally, we have, of course, a Czech pilot, because you've got to have a Czech pilot when it's Eduard. Francis Federal, who's, of course, again, probably the best known Czech pilot, or certainly one of the top Czech pilots of the war. And again, another one of these fellows who literally just found any excuse to get it back at the enemy, starting with all the French, working his way over here, and then heading back over to Czechoslovak home regiments, and lived to 2006. And we got the stencils, and of course the advert for any extras you might fancy. Right, important bits, plastic. So again, we have two of everything, so some of this we may be able to skip. I can open this really quickly. So we've got extra bags for everything, and it looks like they're not completely sealed, so we have a quick look around here. They don't look crystal clear, but they look pretty darn good. Liking these ones, obviously, with little bits of armour on. They're pretty cool. We've got some wingtips here, which obviously aren't going to be for this one. Different options for front, armoured, just there, early one there, and a slightly later one there, and smaller parts. So that looks nice. Certainly do the job. I'm going to assume that this one is the same. Certainly looks the same. As far as I can see, again, that's perfectly fine. Then we've got some pretty major parts actually, and rather annoyingly, it's not the same style of bag, so pardon me. Try and make it as quick and easy as possible. And just make sure there's nothing going to fall out. That's what we really want to look at. So, fuselage sides. Typically no, there we go, no flash. Beautiful, beautiful detail there. Raised rivets, recessed rivets. Trying to get focus on that and not the back. Those raised bits there. That looks fantastic. On the inside, some details and some cutouts for optional detail later on. If you want to add anything in there. Cutouts obviously for where the cockpit will go. We've got some injection marks there. They're well out of the way of anything you'll see. We've got no problems there. Again, this one is likely to be a copy. Then we're going into the wings. These, of course, are actually different. So we've got the earlier Mark IIA here. Should be machine gun ones. Again, loads of lovely detail all of that. Teeny bit of flashes on the edge, just enough, just a little swipe, and that'll be gone. And big underside here. Oops. Down dust, I think. It literally blows off whatever it is. Just there. No. At first I thought I might be pushing through, but no, it's not. That's fine. Looking rather beautiful there. And again, on the other side, of course, we've got loads of stuff going on here for if you want to start cutting out gun bays and, again, helping to locate stuff so it doesn't go anywhere. Unlike even this line here, which is going to stop you pushing things in too far. Give it a bit of extra strength. You can find a little tiny bit of detail, again, that will all be added to for the inside. And this version, again, I believe it's the same one. No, it's not quite, sorry. So we've got the bigger lumps here for the cannons. A lot of the rest of it is very similar. So that'll be for the 2B. So again, very different on the front edge as well. And these big chunky lumps here for the cannons. Underside looks very much the same kind of thing though. Again, we've got a few different cutouts because again, you won't be able to open up the gun base quite so easily. So that changes slightly. And again, slight differences inside the undercarriage bay there. I should put that part for now. Then we have small items on this. Checking out still, and again, excuse me. So I didn't prepare this, I just jumped in. I'm like, woo, new stuff. What do we have here? So we have a sprue with tailplanes, etc., and radiators. All looking very nice. And some small bits for wheels, etc. Again, all looking lovely, absolutely no flash. There's the plastic radiator doors. Tail wheel, again, more wingtips you won't be using. Different styles of nose cone there. Again, more tail wheel bits, more main wheels. Yeah, relatively boring. Got there for one piece. Okay, and on the other side, we've got some small details on the insides of these things here. Again, different variations of wheel. which one you're going to go for. Again, the door we've got with and without the bar. Again, check your old references. Some lovely detail on the inside of the doors there, and the carriage doors. There's the insides of the tail, they're all looking sharp. Looking good. Bits inside the cockpit. Again, different variations for armoured, non-armoured. This is really the backside. That's the exhausts. Again, it looks like we've got a little bit of sinkage on some of these here. But to be honest, again, just like the Mark I, nothing that a little tiny bit of filler can't fix. To be honest, it's not really worth spending an extra £5 on the resin ones, to be honest. You can easily fix this. And they are already even nicely hollowed out, which, considering obviously the different shapes as you go down. Again, we have obviously the early Mark I propeller there, so I think this actual whole sprue, to be honest, is exactly the same as on the Mark I. And a quick look for the tag. Yeah, Mark 1 to 5. Which I wonder if that means then the Mark I does have the parts for the hydraulic. I'll have to go looking on the other sprues. We've got some details for the inside of the cockpit. Again, this is very similar to anyone who's built any of their Spitfires, even the later model ones. Raised details if you want to go that way for the instrument panel. There's later propellers. Smaller machine guns, cannons, etc. More little details for the inside. I'm kind of liking that. This bag does look identical. Again, can't see any differences whatsoever with that one, so I'm not even going to open it. And then we have this bag here, which does have some 3 sprues in. So what do we have here? Let's find out. So we have even more different props, different variations for tail planes, different variations for the inside. We have a fuel tank. Again, even more different nose cones, again with different details on. We've got some other exhausts, it looks like that. I don't know what those ones are for. Can I see away from the camera? They don't look hollowed out, so I'm not quite sure who they're for. Again, small little radios, even more of them. What's this? It looks like even more different exhausts down here, so I don't know what those ones are for. Pedals, so on. Looking pretty good. See, more options for the bits box. Looks like the same sprue again there, and then we have the figures, which I'm quite excited about, in all honesty. We've got a fair bit here. People who want to do a little diorama. We've got pilots and the ground crew and all sorts. Yeah. Serious looking buddy there. For anyone who fancies getting on with your figure painting. Got more of a smile on his face. And then where are we? Yeah, there we go. We've got a ground crew guy here as well. With his little forage cap. He looks a little older. That's why he's down the ground. Let the kids doing the flying. I think he got a tash? Oh, nice. I like that. That's not my favourite thing ever. Yeah, multi-part. So obviously you're going to have a bit of work getting them the best out of them. But there's some lovely detail there. So yeah, I think I'll definitely be using those. They're fabulous. So again, with thanks to my friends at MkII. Spitfire story Tally Ho. Mark II Spitfire in the Battle of Britain and just after. Stop making excuses, go and buy it. It's a great kit. Till next time, folks, take care, and shall see you soon.